Hi, and welcome to Trinity Tuesday and to the Trinity of I webinars. My name is Cherie Hudson. I wanted to create Trinity of I because there are three qualities of leadership that kept bubbling up over the years that I have been rolling out leadership education, executive coaching, and mentoring. And those three leadership qualities that kept rising to the top were inspiration, integrity, and influence. I get asked a lot, are leaders born or are they created? To be honest, they're both. We're all born with leadership capabilities and the capacity to be leaders. I look at our birth as being a moment in time where we come from wherever we come from and come into physical form with that one breath. And once that happens, we are given talents, strengths, unique gifts that no one else has because of who we are. And when we take a look at that one breath that we take right after we come out and breathe in the world, that is a leader right there. What we do with those leadership capabilities and qualities and capacities depends on us. While we have a plethora of influence from our families and friends and also our teachers and coaches and other people who have mentored us, those are all external contributions. Leadership starts with self. And when we lead ourselves and create our leadership style and coming from our true essence of who we are through self-study, through self-discovery, self-care, then those qualities and behaviors start to impress upon the world, and people see it, and they either resonate or they gravitate towards our leadership behaviors because that's what people see, and that's what they feel too as well, because we're also felt. I'll talk about that in just a little bit in one of our webinars. So let me go ahead and start off with sharing with you my PowerPoint slide deck that I have created for us today. And we're going to take the first I, which is inspiration. And as we take a look at inspiration, I want to go back, and you may have heard my talk, and if not, that's fine. I'll share with you the original definition of the word inspiration. So inspiration was, I think it was in the 1600s. The meaning was to breathe in. Inspiration, inspire, breathe in, expire, breathe out. Isn't that cool? Just because we take a breath, we have the ability to inspire. It also goes back to when we were first born. And what's true is that out of a trillion possibilities, you were the one that succeeded. So you're already a success. And so taking a look at inspiration in the mid-1700s, it actually changed, the definition did a little bit, and it was now breathe air into the lungs. Now, later on, it definitely changed and morphed. I like to go back to the original meaning of words with their definitions, because that's what it truly means. We all have the ability to inspire. We all take a breath. We inspire every moment of every day. What we do with our inspiration is really the key. So under inspiration, there's actually three behaviors that are absolutely powerful. The first one is adversity and failure. Someone who has inspiration looks at those events in their life as blessings, lessons, and teachable moments. The second behavior is focusing on possibilities, because there's infinite possibilities when we open ourselves up. And the last is that when we see a leader who comes from their true essence, we truly feel who they are. So I'm going to save those two for other webinars, and today I'm going to focus on adversity and failure. So I'll start off by setting the stage here. When we ran around with the dinosaurs, we have, actually when we're born, on our kidneys, we have the adrenal cortex, right? And so when we ran around with the dinosaurs, you know, it was either fight or flight. And when fear comes up, as we evolve through all of those years, we still have that adrenal cortex, and it's still performing in that particular way. When fear comes up, or a situation or a challenge comes up, do we withdraw or run away, or do we fight it out? And so looking at any adversity and failure, those with inspiration respond to it in a way that is, this is an event in my life. What can I do? How can I transmute this so that it's a greater impact and the greater good? Very, very powerful. When I think of this, what comes up for me, and I start thinking about, like, I mean, I don't even know if I could do this, but yet these people were just amazing in how they approached this adverse situation. And I'll take two of them. Both of them dealt with their children passing away. John Walsh, his son Adam Walsh was murdered. John Walsh took his adverse situation and he created a series called America's Most Wanted. John Walsh single-handedly put away an amazing amount of criminals throughout that span of the series, and he continues to do his work. Out of that adversity became a blessing for so many of us, where criminals were put behind bars. Now let's take a look at the second one, Candy Littner. Amazing. Her daughter Carrie, at the age of 13, was killed by a drunk driver. In her most horrific moment was an amazing light for all of us in regards to mothers against drunk drivers and change of laws in regards to drunk driving. To me, taking those horrific situations and making them a victorious moment, truly, truly powerful. Let me now talk about some failures, or we seem to think they are, but yet it's not. So if you take a look at Milton Hershey, yes, the man that did the chocolate, he actually failed 3 times before he was able to become successful with the Hershey's chocolate, and it was actually through Lancaster Caramel Company. Danny Thomas, famous actor, he could not get a job acting. One day he fell to his knees and prayed and said that if his life was able to turn around, he would dedicate his prayers to St. Jude to open St. Jude Children's Hospital, which he did. That is absolutely profound. Jim Carrey, great actor and comedian, came from a very poor family. As a matter of fact, he dropped out of high school and had to work as a janitor. And his first time in stand-up comedy, he was booed off the stage. He even went to apply an audition for Saturday Night Live, and they did not hire him. And look where he is today. Wow. Even the guy from Amazon, I got to tell you, Jeff, he failed in several businesses before he launched and became very successful with Amazon.com. It's my favorite store. Anyway, when you look at this events and what you're able to do with it, that can be your brightest moments, could be your total victory, is possible. If you were to take the word adversity or adverse and consider the original meaning, all it means is turn towards. That's the original meaning of adverse, turn towards. Failure means to stop the supply. That's all it means. All of these other meanings that we start to project on it is what really gets us going. And we start to feel as though these situations were labeled bad, but yet they can be the most beautiful moment in our lives if we look at it as a blessing, a lesson, a teachable moment that we could learn from. I mean, if you consider Thomas Edison, how many times did he not do the light bulb? And he said those were the opportunities to learn that those other ways of doing it, those thousands of ways, didn't work. So let's do the one that will. He felt like he was in a testing mode, and he found light and able to give us such a blessing too as well. What if he stopped before that one way to create the light? We'd still be working by candlelight here, right? So adversity and failure, while they could be labeled very negatively, they also could be looked at in a very different light. We hear the old adage, you know, sometimes people fail so many times and on their last time they give up, and that could be the moment that gets them to the other side. So here are the 3 behaviors under inspiration: adversity and failure, a blessing and a lesson, which I've talked about today. Our next Trinity of I webinar, which is Tuesday Trinity, will be on focus on the possibilities. And then the last one, we're going to take a look at feel who you are, allowing others to feel who you are. So I want to take this opportunity to say thank you very much for joining me on Trinity of I webinar and on Trinity Tuesday. I'm looking forward to not only talking about this particular topic, we're also going to get into the other I qualities too as well, and giving you that moment to really get some very deep information. So take a breath. You are inspiring. And when a situation comes up, breathe in, breathe out. Don't label it adversity or failure. Ask, what is the blessing? What is the lesson or the teachable moment? Thank you.